So you experience from wholesaling is where you're getting the deals for the multifamilies and stuff. And you said nationwide.
Yeah, so look, that's definitely my superpower, right? Because
Right.
I constantly talk to buyers, to sellers, brokers, and negotiate and, and build rapport and do all that with people all the time. That's what I do. And most people don't like to do that. They're like, bring me the deal when it's under contract and we'll handle the rest. That is the most scariest part of every deal, and nobody wants to do it. And if you can come to the table with that already in hand, that is your superpower. Now, when you're doing deals like we're doing deals, it takes a team, and you get part of whatever the deal is because that's the skill set that you brought to the table. Just like a KP or an investor or the analytical person, because they're all needed. You need all these pieces of the puzzle to come together to build the Avengers. So, you can't do it by yourself. You can't just be Iron Man out there fighting crime.
Right. It takes the Avengers. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a team sport.
Welcome to the Income Producing Assets Show. I am your host, Erwin Anderson, and here at Ander Enterprise, we choose to focus on achieving financial security through income producing assets. And today we are here with Joe the Great. Joe the Great, how you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. It's an honor and privilege to have Joe. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about Joe, give him a brief introduction. So Wholesale Joe Ebanks is here before you, the man, the myth, the legend. He is a managing member and operator of Maverick Capital Group. Wholesale has a background in banking, finance, as well as wealth management. Works for banks such as, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. He is now a full-time real estate entrepreneur. He is now a full-time real estate entrepreneur and real estate investor since 2000, and has completed hundreds of single-family and small multifamily transactions and renovations. He owns and operates a real estate investment company for over 18 years. Wholesale's 20 years of real estate experience has led him to multifamily. Wholesale is a general partner of 176 units and has over $125 million worth of assets under management. He's a coach and mentor to new entrepreneurs that want to start their own real estate business. And he's a U.S. Army veteran. So go Army, beat Navy. Go Army, beat Navy. All right. Well, thank you once again for coming on and blessing the stage. So, Joe, can you tell us, a little bit about you and how you got started on income producing assets?
Well, yeah, my journey was pretty similar to everyone else. I was just trying to find a way to really turn, my earned income into passive income. Really wanted to shift that focus. And like you said, I've been doing it about 20 years. So I thought back then it was the fix and flip and do all that kind of stuff, but that's actually a lot of hard work. So I wanted to find somewhere I could actually put my money, invest my money, use my skill set and my knowledge, and be able to, have passive income assets pay me. And that's kind of what led me to multifamily in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Wow. Definitely. So did you start out as an Army veteran, as in the military?
Yeah. I actually served in in Desert Storm. 91 to 97, stationed at places like Fort Hood, anywhere in the world in 24 hours. I've been there. I was during Cuba during the whole refugee thing, Saudi Arabia, Sambo. Yeah, Army was really good for me. It taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of, preparation, and things don't happen overnight, but if you stick to it and you stay committed, you can make it happen.
Nice. And so straight out the Army, you went to banking?
No, actually, I got out of the military, and I actually got an apartment, similar, right? An apartment right over a gentleman that was a investor. So he rented out the top floors, and downstairs was his office. And he was a mortgage broker, a general contractor, and a real estate investor. And I would always see him outside. He had a nice vet and he had like a Land Rover. I asked him, like, dude, what do you do? And back then I'm in my 20s, I didn't have any money. I was broke, or out of the military, and he was like, I invest in real estate. He was doing kind of the fix and flip thing. But what he would do that was the different model is he would hold them and he would rent them out. And back then in that neighborhood, it wasn't the greatest neighborhood, kind of semi-hood, but he would get them so cheap, fix them up, best he could, and then they would cash flow. And that bulb never went off for me. So I was like, okay, I want to learn what you're doing. Seems like you're pretty successful. And I didn't really have anything to barter with. Couldn't pay him like a mentor or a coach. So what I ended up doing was at night when his office would shut down, I would clean his office for him and he would teach me real estate. He would show me the MLS. He would show me deal structure. He'd show me creative financing. And I developed all these skills at a young age, not really knowing the power of what he was teaching me. And after that is how I ended up getting my first job. After getting this skill set, I ended up getting my first job at a mortgage company.
Wow. So you start off with pretty much service. You got a job under this successful real estate business entrepreneur and started, you said you were cleaning his office and he would teach you real estate.
Yeah, look, to this day, me and that dude are still friends. We still go hang out. We still go have drinks. And he's a multi-millionaire now. He's retired. But he was, not as young as me at the time, probably about 10 years older than I was at the time. But his model worked. And you know how the market went crazy. He bought low, he sold high. And now, yeah, he just takes it easy now. I think he has like 1,000 rentals.
Wow.
Awesome dude. Yeah, it's right here in Tampa. That's where I learned all these skills.
Wow. Okay. So, and that led you to being into, you said, doing mortgages.
Yeah. So he also owned a mortgage company. So he was cool with teaching me the knowledge and everything. He wasn't the greatest payer, right? So I said, well, I got all these skills, I'm a hustler. I'm going to go take my skills and I'm going to go to this mortgage company and work and get paid more money. And which I did. So I did that. This was like during the boom back then. Well, not the boom, but like 2000, let's say 90, 99, like 98 to like 2002. And I'm working there for them. And I mean, floods of mortgages coming in. I was really good at it. I was good on the phone. I was good at sales. I was good at connecting people, building rapport. And I really excelled. I really excelled at it. And I was able to do very well to the point where I was then like headhunted to go to, where did I go first? I was first headhunted to go to Bank of America. And then I was headhunted a couple of years after that to go to Chase. So I just kept kind of elevating my game and getting up there and getting up there. But at the same time, I noticed that through my customer base, a lot of my customers were buying investment properties. And, based on the knowledge I had, and based on what I was doing, I was still missing the boat, right? Because everyone around me is buying income producing properties. But I'm just single focused, single minded, thinking, okay, I'm a mortgage broker now. I'm going to go where I'm 20 and I'm making like almost 6 figures and just doing mortgages. And I'm like, whoo, this is great. I'm losing my mind, right? But poor money management back then. Because I'm young with this kind of money, don't know what to do with it. But then it starts to dawn on me. I said, okay, well, what's going on? Maybe I need to start buying these properties. And that's right when about 2005, 2006 is when it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like, yeah, you need to buy some properties. And so I immediately did. I went out, got some duplexes. I had a 4-unit, 5-unit, a bunch of single family houses. I actually bought a whole block here in Tampa, because my skills were good. And from what dude taught me, and we were still friends, and so he's helping me out. What a whole block. Thought I was the man.
Right.
I had a house here in Tampa, had a condo in Fort Lauderdale. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was the man. And then 2008 happened.
Oh.
And I owned 30 properties and I took a bad $2 million loss. I'm like, I am done with real estate. Up to what I was doing.
Right.
But Warren Buffett said it best. If I would never invest with someone who's never taken a loss, because they don't know. And it's very true. And that's why this time rebuilding, I know I have key principles and philosophies that I follow that I will never shake, that I'm sure for the rest of my life.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a hell of a story right there. So
And that's
you
that's the Cliff Note version.
Wow. Well, so then got it. So you're doing the mortgages, and then the light bulb clicked in your head, and you said, "Man, this is how they're doing it. This is how people are getting, income producing assets. I'm doing all these mortgages, making good money. Okay, I need some income producing assets."
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, then got your income producing assets, and then boom, 2008 hits, and you say you're never doing real estate again.
Man, it was like Harry Potter and saying Baltimore's name. I would never do it. The words that are not spoken. And and I was like, you know what? That's just not for me. Maybe that's just not something that I should be dealing with. And I stayed away from it a long time. I mean, as myself as a serial entrepreneur, I've owned all kind of things. So obviously, tons of property, a nightclub, a commercial landscape business. I mean, me and my wife, we've owned several companies, and I always stayed away from real estate until my buddy came to me in like 2014, 15. After the whole market crash, it kind of settled down and things were getting back to normal. And they were like, Joe, if you want to get your money back that you lost, now is the time. You got way more skills than these other dudes. You need to jump back in now and get your money back. And after going back and forth, I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I jumped in full-fledged ever since then and got back in. So I took like a couple of years hiatus, then got back in. And because during the whole time of the crash, I still had assets all the way until like 2012, I want to say, was the last property that I sold off or had to short sale. But I mean, man, talk about humbling times, humbling experiences. Went from 2 houses to moving in with my parents. Went from a Hummer and a Range Rover to a Ford F-150. It was definitely a learning, and I'm glad I learned those lessons earlier in life, before like I got the big family now and the wife and everything else. But God puts things in your path for you to learn lessons, and my philosophy has always been get knocked down 2 times, get up 3. So.
Right. Good. That's good. So man, going through all that, what is the biggest lessons that you take away from that? And how does that make you a better investor today?
Absolutely. Well, one, it makes me more conservative. It makes me more focus driven. It let me know that, hey, look, you should always have a mentor. And look, I even mentor people now. And I always tell people, if your mentor doesn't have a mentor, you have the wrong mentor. I am always looking. My main focus is now I know by dealing with not just my money, but other people's money. I always make sure that there's an exit strategy that's safe for everyone. I never want to be over leveraged. I always want to have that will make sure the vehicle that we're using, air in all the tires, has airbags, that whole deal. I guess just because I'm getting older, like I just turned 49 last week, almost 50. Just looking for safe investments right now.
Right. Okay. Man, so 2015, you took that hit, learned your lessons. Now
2008, yeah, so 2015. Got back in 2015.
2008, had the loss, got back in 2015. And then since 2015, I mean, now you're sitting at, 176 units and over 25 million assets. So that catapult into where you are today. And what skills do you contribute to that you've learned?
Definitely my strongest skills are sales and negotiation. I mean, I'm a beast at that. That's how I've pretty much gotten all the deals that I'm in now, because I was able to find the deal, get it under contract, negotiate with the seller or the broker, and get a phenomenal deal. But those are the things that you learn, it takes time. It comes over time. Because since 2015, I mean, right now, still to this day, I own a nationwide wholesale company and we crush it. I mean, we're doing big numbers, and that's how I find these deals. People call me all the time, just like they want to sell their house fast for cash. They want to get out of a multifamily deal. Maybe they inherited it, or they have poor property management, or they don't have a standard operating procedure, and it's just run amok. And look, they're like, cash me out, just take me out of it. I'm like, yeah, I'm right here, buddy. And we're, me and my team, we're ready to go. And then, I've just partnered with other investors like yourself and other people in our group, and I just make it happen. And I can tell you, like, when I first joined the group that we're a part of, I came to the very first boot camp with 2 deals before I even signed up.
I saw that. Like,
I
who
closed,
does that?
and I got the investor, and we left the meeting to go see the property, and we closed it like 3 or 4 weeks later. I'm like,
Wow.
That's how you take action. I am an action taker. Don't tell me something if we can't pull the trigger, because I'm ready to go. I'm like, we do more by 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, let's get it. I love it. I love it. So that was amazing. So we went to the boot camp, and you said before you signed up, you had 2 deals.
Yeah, I went there with 2 deals because I'm in a network, a nationwide network, because I'm a pretty big wholesaler, and other wholesalers just bring me these deals because they know I buy multifamily, and they're like, well, Joe, I get them in my email today. They're like, look, I know you buy these, or you have somebody that'll buy this. And they bring them to me. I do our underwriting. If it passes mine, I send it to my partner. If it passes his, because he's the number guru. And then we say, okay, we have a deal. And then I just go out and, okay, it's 5 pieces. Okay, we're the 2. We need 3 more pieces. Okay, KP, investor, let's go. And that's how we make it happen. And I know messing around. We ready to go, ready to go.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, when Joe says he's ready to go, he means ready to go.
Gotta go.
Literally.
Absolutely.
I love it. So you experience from wholesaling is where you're getting the deals for the multifamilies and stuff. And you said nationwide.
Yeah. So look, that's definitely my superpower, right? Because I constantly talk to buyers, to sellers, brokers, and negotiate, and and build rapport and do all that with people all the time. That's what I do. And most people don't like to do that. They're like, bring me the deal when it's under contract, and we'll handle the rest. That is the most scariest part of every deal, and nobody wants to do it. And if you can come to the table with that already in hand, that is your superpower. Now, when you're doing deals like we're doing deals, it takes a team, and you get part of whatever the deal is because that's the skill set that you brought to the table. Just like a KP or an investor or the analytical person, because they're all needed. You need all these pieces of the puzzle to come together to build the Avengers. So, you can't do it by yourself. You can't just be Iron Man out there fighting crime.
Right. It takes the Avengers. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a team sport.
You have a team within the team because you have, your GP team, but you have a team with systems with already has the wholesales and stuff coming in, right?
Oh yeah. So my wholesale thing is a whole nother thing. And then, we also own a whole virtual assistant company, App Services. So which makes it a lot easier for me because I learned over time that, in age, delegate, right? So our VAs help to, write contracts, run numbers, return phone calls, write contracts, run numbers, make phone calls, follow up, keep track of numbers, all these kind of things that are just tedious for people like you and I that are a little more higher level. And so you have to find, workers to put, butts in the right seat so that you can be as efficient as possible. Okay,
nice. So how long you been doing your virtual assistant staffing company?
We've been there for 3 years now. App Services, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Works really well. Actually, a couple of people in our group have also used it and it works really well.
Okay, nice. Man, so virtual assistants, wholesaling. So you're like the wholesaling person, go-to guy.
I like to think so, yes.
Nice. So do you just wholesale multifamily or do you also do like residential?
No, actually residential is our bread and butter. That's what we do nationwide. And what I found out and reasons for, joining other groups and that I find are really important is because when you have a deal that comes up and you're in an arena that is normally not the one that you're in, you seek out coaching, you seek out mentoring, you seek out like-minded groups, and then deals happen. That's how my first deal happened. That's how my second deal happened. That's actually how my third deal happened. Because every boot camp I've been to so far, since they worked the first time, every time I go with a deal.
So you come to the boot camp with a deal.
I got a deal every time I go, brother.
Woo, that's fire right there.
Every time I show up in the room or before I spread the word, hey, look, I'm coming with a deal. Let's sit down.
Wow.
We're looking for partners to get this thing done.
Amazing.
And then the one coming up will be no different.
Absolutely. Let's get it. Let's get it. I love it. I love it. So do you just focus in Florida, or are you all over the country?
All over the country. Obviously, most of the assets I own are in Florida, but we just closed one at the end of the year that is in Cleveland.
Okay, and that's your first out of state before it comes to multifamily.
That was the
right?
first out of state. Yep.
Okay.
That came with its own little challenges because you got to deal with the different weather and climate and so forth up there, but it's pretty awesome. Like I said, yeah, I got something in Cleveland too.
Nice.
My hope is to do that all over.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm in Oklahoma City, as you know. So boots on the ground there. If you see any with your connections, any type of right.
2023, we'll get something done, buddy.
Oh yeah. Because you're the deal sourcer.
Yes,
Sourcer.
sir.
So can you walk us through like how you got walk us through your deals and your multifamily properties when it comes to the 176?
Sure, absolutely. So the very first property that I got was a 20 unit here in Tampa. I actually got that deal. Well, it was from a wholesaler. A friend of mine called me up, was like, Joe, because they do the same thing I do. They do residential. But he's like, hey, we have a 20 unit and we don't know what to do with it. I was like, send it to me. And he's like, yeah, that's why I'm calling you, because I know you do these. So I did a quick back of the envelope, ran the numbers real quick, and I was like, okay, it looks like it works. So let me go out and take a look at the property. I go out, I take a look, and I'm like, yeah, this could be a great value add. It's right in a good part of town. And I immediately start making phone calls to people that I know that lend money. Because see, this is before I had a coach and a mentor. So I'm reaching out to people that lend money, and I'm like, hey, look, I need to get, I think it was going to be by that for 2.4 or 2.5. So look, I'm trying to raise 2.4, 2.5 for this deal, 20 units right here in Tampa. We have to go through, we got to renovate all the units. But then I was saying like projections based on the rent. I mean, we can like double this thing. It was getting like, I think they were getting like $700-800 a month. We're renting that now for between $1,600 and $1,700 a month.
Nice.
And we picked that up 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of feeling around, flying blind, until one of my investors that I usually go to for hard money or private money, equity from my regular single family stuff, he's like, Joe, how about I go in the deal with you? I was like, tell me about that. And he told me about it, and I was like, okay. His lawyer hit up my lawyer. They worked it out. We brought in one other person that I knew exactly how to handle the property of a 20 unit, because I never owned anything that big. And man, we were able to close that thing in like 45 days. And it's a beautiful property right now.
It's a joint venture?
It's a joint venture, yep.
Okay, nice. So you said the guy who's doing the hard money loans, he's on board. And who's the other one? Three partners here?
Yeah, it's just a buddy of mine. We do a lot of deals together, single family stuff in Tampa. He's also pretty well known. And he's like, yeah, I'll go in it with you, because I knew he owned similar properties and knew how to handle like the asset management, the property management, that kind of stuff. And,
okay.
And it was a freaking done deal.
Nice. And that was your first deal? Multifamily deal?
That was my, I think that was the first
over
8 units, yeah.
Okay, so that was a joint venture. And then where is that, Tampa?
That is in Tampa, yeah.
Okay, nice. And you guys brought the rent from 800 to 1600 on it.
Yeah. Like
The
when we
renovations?
after renovation, like when we first got that deal, we thought because our projections was only like 1,100 bucks, but now we're like double that. And we're like, yeah, this is a steal.
What type of renovations did you guys do to it?
We did everything. So we went through the whole unit. I actually opened up a wall, in the kitchen, kind of make a bar, kind of like bar pass through, kind of open up the unit. We put LVP throughout all the units, new baseboards, new tubs, tile. We kept a lot of the kitchen cabinets, just painted them, new hardware, put granite on top, new appliances. Some units we had to upgrade the air conditioning, some we didn't, but we put new roofs, new landscaping. It came out really, really nice. Now, obviously,
Wow.
painted the whole thing. Oh, new windows is what we also did, which really made the building pop.
Wow. So you did a lot, put a lot of work into it, brought the rents to 1600.
Yeah, we put in, I think our budget was like 389, and now we bought it for 2.4. I think our last appraisal was like 4.5, 4.6.
Nice. Did you guys refinance or no?
We did refinance because the first loan that we had on the property, we kind of did it like a private money loan because we had to close quickly. And then after we finished our first phase of stabilization, then we refinanced it with a local bank, got a great interest rate, and now that we're stabilized, it's awesome.
So you guys are gonna hold this for a long time.
Yeah, I'm like, that's one that we're probably never gonna sell.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
All right. How about the next one after that?
The next one after that is the deal that we actually talked about. That one is in Titusville, Florida. It's 48 units. Like I said, I brought that deal with me to our first meeting. And that deal, I came with that deal, and I'm like, I know this is a good deal, but 48 units. Now I'm upping it another 28 units,
Right,
and
right.
and like, I know I'm right, but I'm not sure, right?
Right.
So I was like, I went there. The first thing I went there for was validation. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get somebody to tell me this is a good deal. So instead of asking people if they wanted to invest in this deal or go in it with me, I'm like, what do you think? And I'm like, hey, you've got more experience than me. Run the numbers. What do you think? Just quick, just back of the envelope. And I had like 4 or 5 people that do that. And then I'm sitting out. Now we were outside that day, sitting outside at the tables. And I just have people keep coming up to me like, yo, you got some pictures of that deal? Where's it located again? How far is that from here? Yo, by that night, I'm sitting outside of the convention center where we're at with like 3 or 4 groups around me. And they're pretty much kind of like bidding who's going to take the deal.
Wow.
My wife and I are looking at each other like, is this really happening? And then one of them just kind of cut through all the chase, like, hey, look, we're going to go look at this property tomorrow morning. We're not going we're not going back to the seminar. We're going to go look at this property. So we left
that nice.
Drove there.
Wow.
They walked the whole property. Well, we all walked the whole property.
Wait a minute. I got. So you had this deal already, like you wholesale. So you had it. It was yours already. Like you.
It was under agreement already. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I got it from a wholesaler, another wholesaler buddy of mine, and he had it under contract already.
Under contract already. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I call him up and I was like, hey, they want to come see it in the morning. He's like, cool, I'll meet you there. So we get there, Titusville. It took about 45 minutes from where we were at. And we get there and meets us there. We walk some of the units. We walk around the property. And we're like, yeah, this is done. And
wow,
he's calling in the car. We had to raise, I want to say like 8.5. He's calling in the car and like raised it before we got back to Orlando. I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
Talk about being in the right room. That is why it's important, right? So, we get back, everybody's like, yeah, let's get contract signed, blase. So within 48 hours of that, we actually had a signed contract.
Wow.
Within 3.5 weeks of that, now keep in mind, we were there on December 3rd, remember? Yeah. And it closed the 23rd of December.
Sheesh, that's quick.
Right, that was the best Christmas gift I've had.
Was that syndication? Yeah.
That was a JV. That's how they got
another JV. Okay.
JV, yeah.
Wow. Nice.
The other one is the one we just closed, which is here, another one here in Tampa. It's a 40 unit. With that one, we actually did a syndication. Same deal. It was based off relationships that I have. Like I've known the broker over at CBRE. I've known him before he was there. I knew him when he was at Market Millchap. I mean, I used to go hang out. We go, have drinks and cigars and play golf. Just a good dude. We just never really did any business. And we knew a lot of the same people. And he's like, Joe, I got this deal for you. I think you're gonna like it. It's right up your alley. I was like, all right, send it over to me. So he sends it over. We review it. Me and my partner, and I'm like, it's not that sexy. I was like, not at the price that you're asking. So we were like, we're gonna pass. It's like, are you serious? It's like, yeah, the numbers don't work for us.
Right.
He's like, all right, where do they work? So I sent him over where the numbers worked at, and I think he got mad at me.
This your buddy?
I didn't hear from him for like 2 weeks.
This your buddy? The broker buddy, right?
My broker buddy, yeah.
Okay, you here from 2 weeks, okay.
Yeah, so I call him like 2 weeks later. I'm like, yo, man, what's going on? Any new deals? He's like, nah, not really, Joe. I was like, well, what's the issue, bro? He was like, nah, we're cool, man. We got somebody else. They're gonna buy it. And like, I think like 7.3. And I'm like, all right, well, great, bro. I'm happy for you. Just let me know if you have anything else. Because we want to find something to fix in our criteria. And that just didn't fit in our criteria. So I thought it was over. He hits me back 2 or 3 months later. Because look, this process started like back in May. And this is why it's important. Follow up with your brokers. Because look, I make a point that all the brokers I know, which probably is like 10 of them, I touch base with every one of them at least once a month. Whether it's just grab a quick coffee, a phone call, a Zoom, let's grab some dinner, let's grab a drink of cigars, whatever. I'm asking him, I'm like, okay, so what's the deal? And anything new coming down? He's like, no. He's like, but that deal that we spoke about, it might be coming back around.
What?
Yeah, so keep in mind the timeline, right? It was first in May. And actually the number they were at was 7.8. It was in May. So that was before the market correction, right?
Right.
And then I think, when was the correction? Like July, August, kind of, sort of. So, people started kind of backing up off the gas pedal because we actually had another deal under contract, a 90 unit, but we had to pull out because we're like, hey, look, but the rates are doing what they're doing. We can't make this deal work, and we're not gonna go on that risk. And myself, my partner, we're very conservative. We're underwriting deals with only 50% debt. We're raising the rest of the capital, so everybody stays safe. Even if we have to, take on some headwinds, we don't want to get ahead of our skis. So, like going back to what I originally said, I like to make sure that my risk tolerance is very low. I mean, it's very very low. So he comes back to me. He's like, Joe, that's nothing new available. But this is back on the table. I'm like, look, we've been through this already. What you want, I can't offer you. So, I don't want to waste your time. And it's like, yeah, but let's take a look at it again anyway. So we go back in, we relook at the numbers, and obviously, because we're in Tampa, Florida, rents are going through the roof. So we're like, okay, we can pay a little bit more. So I think we go in again at like 7.1 and 7.15, something like that. We play with the numbers to make it sound good, and we submit our LOI, and they accept it.
What?
So now we're like, well, damn, what are we gonna do? We didn't think this was gonna accept it. We didn't have nothing else ready.
Right.
So now it's our conference in Denver.
Right.
I get the accepted offer 2 days before this happened because I wasn't even going to Denver.
Bring the deal to the conference.
Like, okay, cool. I'm getting on a plane. My partner couldn't make it because he has some other business obligations. But like, all right, cool. So jump on a plane. I'm selling my behind out there. Same program. Hey, look, I got a deal. Who wants to check it for me?
Right.
Who would like to check this deal to see if it works? And I go through everybody, bam, 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 bam. Look, by the end of the conference, I got a KP, and I have commitments on basically
Absolutely.
all the money that I need.
Wow.
And I call up my partner on the phone. I'm like, hey, dude, I think we're good.
You made it happen.
Yeah, I was like, you just need to call and confirm all these people, make sure we get everything in line, because that's what he does. He's great at that and the numbers. That's his department. And he's like, all right, I'm on it. So I sent him everybody. He takes care of it. And now we're talking once all that happened, because we just haven't accepted LOI. By the time we got it under contract, it's probably like another month. So I think now we're like in September or October, and we closed that like 90 days later in December.
Wow.
Actually, and here's the kicker. Right before we close, the feds raised the rates again.
Wow.
And I was able to negotiate the price down to 6.85.
Sheesh. Gives you an air high five for that one.
Look, that's my lane. That's what I'm good at.
That's what you do.
Put me in the room, negotiating sales, that's what I'm good at. And I just hand it back to my guy, and they handle the rest from there. But yeah, we were able to close the deal. I'm actually working right now on the operating, executing our business plan, working on the renovations right now. It's coming out beautiful. I mean, the new renderings that we just got back from our design, I mean, the property is going to be gorgeous, and we're going to be able to hit our target rents. I don't think without problem at all. And it's great. They're working on the pool. It's going to be a fantastic asset.
Amazing, man. So that's,
if I'm running on or rambling too long, you let me know.
nah, you're good. It's great. So that's 4 now, right?
That's 3.
3. Okay. So 3, 2 JVs and 1 syndication.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
nice.
So then the last one is the property in Cleveland.
Right.
Which is 66 units. So that one, my partner actually found, and we were able to actually do that with our coach out of the group, because he's in that area. And
Is it Garrison?
No, he's not. It's Garrison. He's not in Cleveland.
Is in Baltimore? Right.
Yeah. It was Piro. It was actually because he was both my coach and Francesco's coach, and we were able to get the deal, put it together, raise the money, and we closed that deal. 66 units, great area, Shaker Heights. I mean, beautiful architecture. These buildings are gorgeous. The old red brick. I mean, just outstanding. And we were able to close that deal. And what did we close out on the 27th or 28th of December?
Nice.
Right after the holidays.
Right.
And that's another deal that, we just kept after the broker. We were firm on our price. Because look, we have a buy box. And, brokers today, or anybody really, they like, if they're selling an asset, they like to try to get you to come to their price. And I find that that's a mistake. You just have to set your price. And once you set your price, say, this is where we're at. Either you can meet us or not, but we're not going to play the game of going up and down and back and forth with you. And I kind of learned that from my other experiences running real estate, because look, I have an obligation to, our investors and our team to make sure that, this is a win-win for everybody. And we are protecting the asset, and we're providing the passive income that ultimately everyone is looking for out of the deal. So
absolutely.
That's it. That's what we do.
Nice. Phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
Those are awesome. They're awesome. So what would you say is the biggest contributor to your success?
The biggest contribution to my success, and I'll say this so she can hear it, my wife.
Right.
But also, I mean, man, I read a lot of books, right? I've read, the Landlord Academy, like stuff like Brian Chavis. I've read
the what academy? Say it again.
The Landlord Entrepreneur, and he has another book called Buy It, Rent It, Profit. Outstanding books. I've read the book The One, because you have to focus on what you're doing, right?
One thing.
Yeah, another book I read, I can't think of the author right now, but it's called Don't Split the Difference.
Negotiation, right?
Yes, negotiation.
Yeah.
I mean, all kind of stuff like that. And then, I mean, I listen to hours of podcasts. I listen to a lot of, audiobooks and videos and YouTubes. And I mean, in moderation, there is so much information on the internet, but you don't want to get too much and jumble it all in your brain and be, the jack of all knowledge and the master of none. But if you focus and pick what you're really trying to learn, I mean, the information is out there. But that's why I always think like, you know, mentorships and coaching and things of this nature are important because it lets you focus on what you're doing and it holds you accountable. And those things are top priority. But I learned really early on in multifamily that there are certain key factors, right? You have your acquisition, which is super important, and then you have your property management, your asset management, and you have to learn basically like your 5 phases as you're going through all these deals, so that you know exactly what's going on and you can perform to the best of your ability. And I mean, and that's what I've learned from everything I've read and listened to, and people I've heard talk and speak, and all those kind of things. Write it down. I mean, I'm just lexic. I record it, but I just feel like shucks. If anybody can do it, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Man, appreciate you sharing those. Definitely gonna check out those books, those gems. And I definitely see, the Ebanks, you and Lisa are like power couples out here, just
Thank you. I
dominating,
appreciate that.
dominating. I know she does the credit. You got
She does the business credit. Yep, fun for life.
Bit-
Ooh, fun for life.
Yeah, Fun for Life. We got the staffing, virtual assistant company, the real estate business, the wholesaling, and you guys just doing it out there, and it's amazing to see.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I mean, I'll say this. Look, if a kid like me with immigrant parents from Jersey who didn't go to college, or went to the military, can do this, anyone can do it. It just takes drive and determination and focus, and you can make it happen. Nothing is stopping you but you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. So as we get ready to conclude, how do people get in contact you if you want to reach out to you?
Sure. They can email me at joe@maverickcapgrp.com. That's my email. They can hit me up on Facebook under Joe Ebanks. On Instagram, it's Cashman Pays Cash, and I think I sent you a link you can attach to it. Or they can just give me a call. I don't care. I'm not that kind of, like, I'm trying to be all secret of where I'm at. 813-363-5163. People can hit me up, send me a text message. Text me first, because if I don't know who you are, I'm not going to answer. But if you text me first and let me know what you got, I'll easily send you a calendar link. I'm happy to jump with people on the phone, discuss what they're looking to do. And my whole thing is, people took the time to help me along the journey. And I just want to make sure, I play it forward that way.
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Joey Ebanks. Drop the mic. Appreciate you, brother, for having you on.
I do.